Hello, everyone. My name is Lucas Chaffee. This is a January 14th, 9 a.m. Eastern free tutorial. We have a fantastic group of folks that just introduced themselves, and I'll share my screen with you and give you an orientation to this event space. Then we'll look at an event space where an organizer has made it look very good. And then you'll get a chance to start digging in and making your own event in this hands-on class. Here are the photos of everyone that has joined. You'll see the red icon indicates that they have also joined Zoom. So when you get to Qiqo Chat, the first thing you'll see is a photo, and you can customize these photos. That might be the logo for your event, or it might be something to set the environment or the atmosphere. Maybe it's a picture of the outdoors, or maybe it's a circle of chairs, whatever kind of mood you want people to be in. On the right-hand side, by default, is this tool for taking notes. Anyone can type in here, and I put down a place where you can add your questions down towards the bottom. You're not able to type on my shared screen. I'm sharing my screen with you. So if you click and you figure, oh, I can't type, go to the top of the page and you'll see Zoom has some options, and it's something like more options and exit full screen. Then you can move Zoom around and you can move the web browser around. This is my web browser that you're looking at, Chrome, Safari, Firefox. They all work in Qiqo Chat. Please interrupt me at any point, even if I'm talking, with any questions that are very relevant at that moment. So you're welcome to type in your questions here and we will answer them as we go. Right now, we're getting an orientation to the space. So each of you has arrived and you might have noticed this message. Please click the green button to launch Zoom. This is an important message for your participants to see, because once they connect to Zoom, then you're talking to them and they're comfortable and they can get all their questions answered. There's a variety of ways to communicate this message. You could just put it right there, or you can display this message as a banner across the top, and we'll show how to do that. When you click Join Video for Main Room, it will open up a separate Zoom meeting. By default, these Zoom meetings have 300 participants as the capacity. We create that meeting with Zoom. We send a message to them and they give us a Zoom ID back. And then the first person to go in is in the meeting. The second person is going to be in the same meeting. The third person is in the same meeting. So whenever someone clicks that green button is when the meeting is created. Every one of these rooms down here on the left, and you have 10 by default, each one has its own Zoom meeting. So I'm going to go to room 5, and the photo changes, and the notes change. It's a blank notes document. You don't have to do anything to set this up. The notes are there. And then the Zoom meeting is also there. You don't have to pay Zoom. You pay us and we pay Zoom. So you don't need your own Zoom account. Participants don't need a Zoom account, but participants do need to download Zoom. You don't have to use Zoom if you want to use Microsoft Teams or Adobe Connect, Google Meet. There's ways to connect those instead of Zoom, but Zoom is the default. I mentioned it's 300 people as the maximum, but if you need more, then we can connect a Zoom Pro or Zoom Business account with 500 or 1,000. Please contact us when you need that. The cost of Qiqo Chat is $1 per day per person when they're joining Zoom, plus 1 penny per minute. I wrote that down here. I'm going to go back to the main room and see the notes. We did an earlier training this morning, and here's some helpful links from that training. So I just went ahead and pasted them all in here. Here is the information about how much Qiqo Chat costs. $1 per day plus 1 cent per minute per person. There's a pricing calculator here. So you can see if it's a 3-day event with 1,000 people, how much it will be. Any questions about what you see on the screen right now? You're going to get a chance in a moment to create your own event. Instead of these notes on the right, we're going to put in Google Docs. Let me also show here, instead of just that notes page, there's all these different tools you can put in. Google Docs, CryptPad, which is Similar to Google Docs, based in the European Union and very privacy focused. For whiteboarding tools, you can put in Miro, and Group Map is a popular option with facilitators, and some other tools like Pinup, which looks like Post-its. Mentimeter and Google Forms are popular with facilitators, also Slido and TeamBits from Germany. You can put in a schedule. You can put in YouTube, which is either live or recorded. Same for Vimeo. You can put in webinar tools, some fun networking tools that we'll get a chance to test out today. Social media posts like Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. You can have a game room. And just as an example, you can put in puzzles so people can be building the puzzle together while they're on Zoom. It's very common that people will put in a PDF because you can make any PDF you want. It could be the schedule of the event. It could be information about your speakers. It could be the code of conduct. So anything you can design on a PDF, you'll upload to Qiqo Chat and it can be displayed. And then this document, it just goes screenshot after screenshot after screenshot of all these different tools you can embed. So that's what is at the top. There's a screenshot of each of these down below. And the link for that is here, tools you can embed on line 19. I'm about to show you another event that is well designed. Are there any questions at this point? You can type them here or you can just speak them out loud.
I have a question about the different rooms. When you go into the rooms, would you be able to share your screen in each of the rooms separately?
Yes, every room is connected to a separate Zoom meeting. When I click room 1, it now says join video for room 1. So that is a separate Zoom meeting with all of Zoom's capabilities, including screen share. Any other questions?
Lucas, I'm curious about the pricing. You mentioned a penny a minute for connection time. How is that calculated?
Zoom bills us for every minute that someone is on Zoom. So if your event is 8 hours, but people are only participating on average for 4 hours, you only get billed for what people actually use.
Mm. Okay. And so, okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's take a look at an event that's well designed. This is the second event from Transforming Faces, a fantastic nonprofit in Toronto. I helped them with the first event, and the second event they did 98% on their own. We give you a free hour of support prior to your event to help you think through how to design and configure your space, because we find that people, by the time they're doing their second event or third event, they're off and running and they don't need a lot of support from us. We also offer open office hours 6 times per week. So you could just drop in unannounced, ask any question that you have, and you'll hear other participants with their questions too. Here are the number of people who RSVP'd for their event. I'm on the landing page for their event, or the RSVP page. You can call it whichever you like. I click this arrow and we'll see some options. I click map view, and then we'll see a map of everybody for where they're calling in from. That's for when they've uploaded their country and postal code. So it's a great way to see who is here. Down below, here's an intro video to help people get oriented. And this is customizable for you, along with all the colors of the buttons and rectangles. Again, just interrupt me at any time with any questions. I'm going to click here to enter. And now we're in the event space. There's a photo that they put on the top left. This is a nonprofit that helps children with surgery on their lips when they're born. And they colored the buttons here. We're arriving in the check-in and help desk. So they had a message up here in the announcements area that says, welcome, please click the green button to launch Zoom. And they had someone greeting everybody as they came in. and gave them a brief orientation. Then click opening plenary when it's time to go to their session. You get to name all of these rooms, and you get to put in a second piece of information which works for what is happening in that room. Here on, oh yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I have a question. I'm able to make the design for the rooms, to make it red or orange like you do this here. Is it possible to do it by myself, or do I have to ask you?
You can do it. It's not easy, but we'll show you how.
Okay.
If I click free training, go to the main room notes, there's a link here. A custom style tutorial. So it's a Google Doc that teaches you how to put in the different colors for the buttons. And it doesn't cover everything, but it gets you started. This is advanced, but that's what you can use our hour of support for. You can also hire us to do anything that you don't want to do. We charge $108 per hour for support. So you can build us into your budget when you're working with your client. If we do events on our own, we might support a client for anywhere between 20 to 60 hours in setting up the event space. We're not doing the facilitation. We work with facilitators who might bring us onto a large project. So we're your partners. We don't do the facilitation ourselves. Heidi Nobantu Sol is a great open space facilitator that we work with when we need to do an open space event, that someone comes to us and wants to do an open space event. But often it's, you have your clients and you want our help to make your event go great. You can do it all on your own, but sometimes, especially for your first one, you might want our help for a few hours or more. We're happy to help. When I click on these different tabs at the top, the tool that is displayed will change. Here is a PDF that they've uploaded. You can see the agenda for this event. So they're welcoming people at the check-in, and then at the opening plenary, they have a discussion, and then they have some breakout rooms, A, B, C, D, and then they embedded a map of where everybody's coming from. If we go into the opening plenary on the left, I select opening plenary, and now we'll see the schedule in here. It's the PDF that we've saw already, and then the documents. All right. So this is an example event. Any questions about what you see here?
Yes, Sabine here. I know how to upload Google Docs or YouTube films and so on, because that are links, but I've never uploaded a PDF. How do you do that?
Okay, to upload a PDF, you need, I'll put this link up here. Well, actually, I already have it. There we go. Tools that you can embed,
yes,
including PDFs.
Okay.
I'll just make that a little more clear. So if I click on that, this link might not yet be active. Let me get the link in there. It's a Google Doc, the list of tools that you can embed, and towards the bottom are the instructions for how to upload a PDF.
Oh, okay.
The short answer is that when you look at those instructions, you're going to go to a link like this, qiqochat.com/new resource. I'll also put that in the Zoom chat for you in case that's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And you put in a title. And then we use this same tool for a lot of things. That's why there's a lot of buttons on here that you won't use, because you can use this tool to write a blog post. or upload a file or a photo. So we'll upload a file, click choose file. And I'll upload a file right now. And I click publish. So I put in a title. The title's just for me, so I can keep track, and then upload this file, open this file. So now I have an image or PDF, and I can take this link and I can use it in the event. I can, let me put it as a banner across the top. So you're about to get a chance to build your own event after we answer a few more questions here. But this is what the editing interface looks like. I click edit. Here's where you put in the title and the description for your event. Here's the start time and the number of minutes. If you have 3 days, put the number of minutes, even though it's a very large number, it's okay. And that is just used for scheduling. It's not used for billing you. If you have a large event, please put that in there so that that lets us know that you have a large event. So I have on my clipboard, I have copied the URL, the link to that image that we just saw. The image looks like this. And I'm going to edit the main space and breakouts. This is where you customize the space and how it looks. This is where you customize who has access. This is how you could change the colors or change the words on a specific button. This is where you could turn on and off things like if you want to hide a room or hide all the rooms for day 2, or turn off the video in a room or all rooms. And here, if you want to use your own Zoom links, you have to ask us for this one and we will turn this on for you. It's a little bit more work to use your own Zoom links, but you save a little bit of money. Not a lot, but you save a little bit. We cut the per minute cost in half for any room where you use your Zoom links. We charge you normally 1 cent per minute per person. That's 60 cents per hour. And when you use your own Zoom link, it's half of that. So it's half a cent per minute per person.
Lucas, can you repeat the security and permissions?
Absolutely, and we'll get a chance to go in there. Let's take a look right now, and then we'll come back and continue putting in that photo that we were going to put in. Security and permissions. I'll open this up. There are a lot of options. By default, just like the event that you came in today, you don't have to have a specific email address. We did not restrict access to this event. You may want to do that, and you'll probably want to do it if you are charging money for your event or your client is charging money for your event. If you only want specific people to come to your event, say yes, and then you put their email addresses on the access list. Like that, paste them all in. There's more options about if you want an assistant administrator. Then they can edit this page too. If you want someone to be the host, you could put their email address, Zoom host. They can't edit this page, but they could be the Zoom host.
So does that mean that they can be, if you put it in there, is that they could be the Zoom host in any of the rooms, or is it only in, is this only in the main room?
It is your choice. Any room or specific rooms. If you use specific rooms, you'll want to read this, helpful hints, and it tells you that it's like a full paragraph of text, which is more than you probably want to read right now. But if I put Sally at example.com here, and then Bill at example.com there, then they're going to be assigned to specific rooms as long as I've selected this. So this will be the first room. This will be the second room. 1 line per room. And now there's 2 people for room, the second room. But the best way to assign hosts is probably let anyone host any room and give them the claim host key. This is something for Zoom, where when you're in Zoom, you click participants and claim host. And anybody that has that key can become the host. That's a very efficient way. You have to email me and I'll set that up for your meeting. It's not yet available in this, but it's quick for us to set up. So send me an email, lucas@qiqochat.com, and send me the link to your event, and we will put in that claim host key. It's an even better way, and that's an improvement that's coming soon. Any more questions about access? Maybe I should also mention, if you want to have Qiqo Chat send or resend an invitation, this is very helpful here. I'm going to open this up, and I can put in the name and email separated with a comma, and I can put 100 people there, or just repeat 100 people at a time, 100 people at a time, and click send invitations. And now it sent me an invitation. If I don't have a Qiqo Chat account, and I'm one of these participants, I will get an account created for me. And the email that I get has an easy personalized link. When I click that link, I'm signed in automatically. I don't need to enter a password. If you want to make a custom message, you can add it here. Please join our rehearsal at 9 a.m. on January 20th. Whatever you'd like to say in there. And you can even do a full custom HTML message. If you're comfortable with HTML, you can put in images and other colors. And here are the instructions for that. Any more questions about inviting? I'm going to go back to our edit event page, and I'm clicking on, oh, yes, Mark.
Lucas, sorry. I like the way you've set up this allowing access and defining the hosts. And I can see usually you'll know in advance who the hosts are, who the people are that you want to be able to host the rooms. But if it's a paid event and people are registering through whatever the registration gateway is, what kinds of integrations do you have between registration gateway and adding people into the access list, which was one of the first things you showed us on that page?
Great question, Mark. We have several integrations. And a quick side note is you actually don't need a host for your Zoom meetings. All the Zoom meetings have the preference of join before host is enabled. So just like I was the host of this meeting today, but many people showed up before I did, so you were able to enter, you can enter any of those rooms. If you would like to integrate with a registration system, which is the question that you're asking, you want to collect money on Eventbrite or some other tool, you can do that. And here in our free training, let's see if I have the link already. Integration with Eventbrite. It's another Google Doc. It takes me about 20 minutes. It might take you 40 minutes the first time you do it. Okay, this is what we need. This is the proper link. And it costs $25 for the tool that does the integration. It's called Zapier. And if you're using other tools, Zapier also works. So maybe Cvent and Fienta, but I think there's a dozen tools probably that you might be using to collect money from registrants, connect it to Qiqo Chat through Zapier using these instructions, and you get an hour of free support for every event, so you might want to ask us to help you the first time. Once someone registers, it adds them to that access list, creates their account, and sends them the email.
Creates an account in what kind of account?
It creates a participant account in Qiqo Chat, and it gives them access to your event.
Okay, that's smooth. Thank you.
All of these features are because someone has already asked for it. So I encourage you to ask for the features that you need, because a month from now, someone else will need it. I'm going to update that link here. Integration with Eventbrite. I had the wrong link on there. All right, back to our image. We were going to put this image into our Qiqo Chat event. So I'm going to click customize the main space and breakouts. I can set the number of breakout rooms. I'll say 5, and I can add, if I want to put titles in, I can say main room, and then orange room, blue room, yellow room, whatever you'd like to call them. And now I've got this banner image I'm going to put at the top of all of my rooms. Just paste in the link to that image. And if I want it to go at all the rooms, just keep pasting it 1 row per room. I know that if that's the first time you're looking at this, you're like, oh, that hurts my eyes. I don't want to see that. But you'll start to realize you could copy and paste a lot of information in here very quickly, and it becomes efficient. And today, you're going to get comfortable with it because you'll be able to create your own event. And let's say I also want to change the photo that was at the top left. Currently, it's butterflies. I'm going to put a home metaphor, or some other ones that I've created. I'll do home, since that's familiar to everybody. So it's going to be some pictures that look like a house. And I'll click update. So all we're putting in here is the image that's going to go as the banner across the top of our notes page. When I click update, here's the banner at the top. And here's the photo from that, I said house. So every room is going to have a different house picture, and the banner will be the same. Here's the hallway.
Lucas, every information you write is distributed to the rooms according to the roles?
Yes.
Okay.
Just like we have, that's the pattern in Qiqo Chat. So okay. the banners go that way. You can have different banners on every page. And we also did the Zoom hosts go like that. And then we did the room names, they go like that.
If you leave the room empty, that room will be empty.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, let's take some more questions, and then you get a chance to build your own event.
Lucas, I just refreshed my browser page to see the changes that you had just made. And although I was able to see the main page initially, now I'm getting a message that says restricted access for event.
Oh, it's because what
happened?
Oh, you saw me do it. I click edit, and then in the security section, I changed this to yes. So we're restricting, but your name is not on the access list. So I'm going to put that back to no. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think you might need to refresh again. And
I'm still getting the same. Oh, I'll have to page back.
Yeah, I think so. There we go.
And then participate now. Okay, I'm in. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Okay, other questions that people have?
Yeah, I have a question. Somewhere in passing there, I saw something about wide photographs. Could you just say something about that? Like across, like, I guess, a background to the whole thing?
Yes.
Is that possible?
I would be happy to do that. And then we have one other question here too. When I enter room or click the tabs at the top, Qiqo Chat automatically takes me to Adobe and the PDF. Is it possible to see the PDF in the window rather than in Adobe? And it might be a browser setting, but most people will see the PDF right here. When I am on this other event and we went to the schedule, here's a PDF, and it should be right here. If it's doing something different, it's a browser setting, and I can help you adjust that. Very few participants run into that, but it is possible that the PDF opens elsewhere. Now for the question about how to put in these photos. So we call these photos part of the event design template. So the template that you saw, it was butterflies, and now it's home. And you can create your own template by going to your name, My Event Design Templates, and you will click New. You'll get a chance to do this. I'm just going very quickly right now, but we're going to slow down and everybody will catch up on the same page. But here's what it looks like to have one of your templates. Click New, and then My Example Template. No one sees the name of the template. It's just so you can find it in the drop down of options. I want to add a space to the template, really just adding a photo at the top left. This is going to be the first one for the main room. I say 0, but you can say whatever you like. I say 0 because I think of breakout 1 is room 1, breakout 2 is room 2. And that means that the main room is going to be 0. That's how I think of it. And then I click choose file and then upload your picture.
Lucas, will there be a database of people's templates? So for example, let's say somebody makes a really awesome template and I would love to use it. Can I?
I'll put that down for people that want to donate their templates. Yes, great idea.
Because I'd love to do that. Also, I have one more kind of technical question about Zoom. I was wondering something very basic. If I'm in a room and I'm in the Zoom call, is there a possibility for me to start breakouts?
Yes, you as the host of the Zoom meeting have regular host controls, including breakout rooms. So each Qiqo space has a separate Zoom meeting.
Right.
And then each of those meetings has breakout capabilities inside.
Wonderful. That answers my question. Thank you.
You're welcome. People might use those breakout capabilities at the beginning of a conference. So if the conference begins at 9 o'clock, but people start showing up at 8:45, maybe you want to move them in pairs and they can network rather than just waiting there. That's a great use of it. Great. Thank you for that question. When you upload the photo, if it's a wide photo, click there. And then it will stretch your photo the full width. If you see this other photo here, this is a tall photo, so it doesn't stretch it because it will cut it off. So you get to decide, do you want a narrow photo or if it's a wide photo? But that's how you create a new template. And then once you create the template, it's going to show up on your edit page. So click edit and then customize your main space and breakouts. Down at the bottom of this section, add photos to your breakout spaces. And you'll see helpful hints all along here. So you can click helpful hints, and that's the place where you can find the link to create a new template or edit the existing template. These helpful hints sometimes have a lot of words, but we put them there so that if you're on your own and it's 9 p.m. at night, you have nobody to help you, hopefully this text helps you.
And I was thinking, Cecilia, I was thinking particularly, you know, the gardens that you have, and you have on the website, and you have like almost like a background picture of lovely gardens, and then people kind of show up. Whether that's possible to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you're asking about the gardens. So the gardens are part of circles. What's a circle? A circle is a collaboration space for your community or your group. And a circle can have many events. So all that we've been talking about so far has been one single event. Yeah. And that event can either be in a circle or live on its own. Circles have lots of tools like a weekly newsletter, written conversations, and all of these tools are listed here. I'm going to go back to the main room and free tools in a circle. All the tools are free except for events and the gardens because we get charged by Zoom. So I'll take a look at an example circle, and we're gonna have another training on circles that you'll be invited to attend. I'm gonna go to the Liberating Structures Community of Practice, and you're welcome to try it out. ls.qiqochat.com, Liberating Structures. This is a facilitation community. Here's the homepage for their circle, and you see the list of events that they put in there. The neat thing about this is it's connected to a Google Calendar, so people don't have to come to Qiqo Chat to learn what events are happening. They just go to their calendar, and because they've already integrated their Google Calendar with the Qiqo Chat's Google Calendar, the events just show up on their calendar. And maybe an event is happening on an event that, like you've just seen, we've been in one of those event spaces, or maybe it's in the gardens. Think of the gardens as a place rather than a specific event. It's always on, 24/7, a big photo in the background, and there's really only one thing to do here. You click join video to launch Zoom. So it's fairly simple. You can change the text that you want, and people are on Zoom with just a few clicks. This is Zoom for your community. You don't have to schedule a call. Maybe people are showing up there every 12 o'clock every Tuesday. They know that's when people have lunch. And then if it gets crowded in the central garden, you've got other gardens to go to, and you can go into any of these other gardens and change the topic. So let's say we're going to talk about soccer. Then people can come to Garden 3. They'll see someone is talking about soccer right now, and they can move themselves. So this is what a garden is. It's similar to an event, but it doesn't have, it just looks a little different.
Lucas, how are gardens billed, and is there a way to put a cap on how much money we want to spend over a specific amount of time for gardens?
Gardens are billed the same way as events, $1 per day per person plus 1 cent per minute per person. If cost is an issue for the organization, let us know. We'll make sure that, let's say it becomes wildly successful and it's $100 because 100 people joined. Well, if that's not in the budget, just let us know. We have flexibility we don't want the cost to get in the way of you using Qiqo Chat. So we find the standard pricing, which is, say for a 4-hour event, if you do a 4-hour workshop, it costs $3.40. That's not a lot if you're charging $150 for the workshop. If you're doing a free event for a community, then maybe that's too much. So we can work with you on that. But we find most organizations find it fits within their budget because it's actually less than the cost of parking your car.
With the gardens though, is there a time window, time boundaries for when the garden is available and when the garden is not available?
You can do that, but you have to turn it on and off manually. So maybe you want the garden only on for one day. Jimmy, I saw your message. Thank you for attending. And Sarah, a question about the circle. She says, the circle is the community. She writes this in the Zoom chat. And the garden is the 24/7 open meeting space. That is correct. The garden exists for the circle, and the event is a planned event, right? And you can have many planned events. They all show up on the calendar for the circle. Exactly. Yes, Mark. So the way we say is if you've got a group of people that are going to use Qiqo Chat and cost is an issue, open it up and just see how much usage you can get and max out your budget. And then when you say, hey, it's getting too expensive because we're having too much adoption and your organization needs some time to figure out, like, should we start asking people for donations to cover the cost? We'll help you reduce the cost until you figure it out. And we don't want anyone to stress the cost if there's any unexpected usage, like suddenly it's wildly popular. So just coordinate with us, keep us in touch over email. The cost to us, as I mentioned, is Zoom billing 30 cents per hour per person. So we have some flexibility. We could reduce that $1 per day for community groups, nonprofit groups that are doing good work in the world.
Okay, thank you.
Lucas, can I ask you, once you're finished with us this afternoon, are we able to access this and play with it ourselves?
Yes, all of these links are public, and any Qiqo Chat event, just when you close a Zoom meeting, the Zoom chat's gone. But with Qiqo, because you're launching Zoom from Qiqo, that Qiqo event webpage still is open and available. unless you wanted to close it. So you as the facilitator can close it or turn video off. Those are your choices, but by default, they stay open. The video gets turned off after the event, 8 hours after the event, so you don't rack up any more charges. But people can keep going back to see the notes.
Okay.
Lucas, about these gardens or community places, can I use Qiqo Chat for a birthday party with an open garden? But what's the difference if I can make it in Zoom also, or a concert, or a whatever workshop?
If you can do something in Zoom, then it's probably best to do it just in Zoom. The reason to use Qiqo Chat is if people are getting tired of Zoom and they want to see that you put some effort into making the space beautiful, to create a custom feel for our people who are distributed, that we normally meet in this building. You could put photos of the building. It builds a sense of community. The gardens are great for, if I pull up, I'm going to pause my screen share and pull up Slack. If you have an online community that uses Slack, when someone goes into the gardens and clicks join video, then a notification can go out to Slack and people realize, oh, somebody's available to talk right now. And so this instant notification system kicks in, and that keeps your community being vibrant. If you could do a birthday party with just Zoom, then try just Zoom for sure. I'd say Qiqo's built for conferences where you want people spending a lot of hours or collaborating on shared documents. But people do it for dinner parties. They do it for religious celebrations, job fairs.
So in terms of open space, garden is like where butterflies meet, coffee break area, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Lucas, can I say that Fundus just raised something in my mind, that if you were say using Zoom for a concert, a performance, a musical performance, and you had a large gathering of people to come and see that, Zoom can be quite, what's the word, is it mechanistic? It's quite labor intensive. It's quite, you have to be managed. You have to be managed into rooms. This looks like it's more like an exhibition conference center where you could go backstage and meet the artists and meet particular artists in different rooms and things like that. It's more free. There's more liberty in this for participants to float between. They don't have to be managed and dragged out and sucked out of rooms and put into other rooms against their will, and they have no time constraints there. It seems to be, this is a much freer, much more liberating. Am I right?
That is true. Only recently, maybe 6-8 weeks ago, did Zoom give participants the ability to move themselves between breakouts.
Right. I didn't know that.
And that one's very recent. But here's a social happy hour that you wouldn't have wanted to do on Zoom. AWTC, let's see. So here you'll see some custom colors. And an intro video is loading down here. And the logos. And I'll enter the event. And when you get to the event, they created an atmosphere. So when you arrive, I'm going to close Slack because that's taken a little bit extra bandwidth there. So here, when you arrive, you're in the foyer, it's custom colors, and you can see the schedule. When I scroll down, and people can see what's happening in each room.
Yeah.
So it's just something extra for giving people situational awareness, also the freedom to move. This was like a birthday party, but it was a happy hour for a group. So very casual, and in the different, so everybody welcome in the main room. And then at 4:15, there were several activities, just chat, trivia, games. And then there was a next set of activities, live music here. Let's go down to that room for live music. And when you arrive, you see a beautiful photo that sets the scene, and then join video to launch Zoom. So
sorry.
Oh, that's, I was just gonna say, so.
So we were talking this morning about corporate mental health and coming back from lockdown, how that's going to be managed by large scale organizations. And this is something that could be done. You could have an open day. You could, an institution could have an open day where people could gather. There could be a kids room with cartoons being shown, and there could be, you know, family rooms. There could be all sorts of things. You could be meet the directors. There could be, and it seems quite a good way of keeping that corporate stability going, even in the hybrid sense of half lockdown. Does that make sense?
It does. Absolutely. Yes, you could definitely use it for those purposes. And then if you put in some survey tools, Mentimeter, you can take the temperature of your employees in different ways.
Yeah, that's just something that sounds really attractive, actually. And the other thing that I've got a distaste about Zoom is it's very linear on screen. Even just now, the windows are square and in columns or in tabs. And it seems that every system, you know, we're looking for something a bit more softer edged. And, you know, is this in its final state, do you think, or is it still being developed? As you said earlier, it's still evolving.
Both Qiqo Chat and Zoom continue to evolve.
Okay.
So,
and are they entities? Are they separate? Are they entirely separate that have come together, or are they one? Are they one family, or is it a relationship?
We are a separate company from Zoom, but they have created a way for companies like us to create Zoom meetings by communicating with their servers. So that's how we do it. We create these Zoom meetings and put them in all these rooms, and other people do different things with that relationship. It's called an API. That's how we connect to their servers and like that.
Okay, thank you.
I think now would be a good time for us to try creating your own event. And there's a tutorial we can walk through. I'm going to share the link here in our Zoom chat. Okay, please feel free to open that. You don't have to. I'm hoping that one person also will share their screen, and so we can walk through at your pace, building your own event. So if there's someone who has not ever created a Qiqo event and wouldn't mind sharing their screen, please volunteer, and we'll walk through with you at that pace. Other people can go slower or faster based on the tutorial.
I can do that. I
Great.
share my.
Thank you, Funda. Again, please feel free to ask any questions at any time. So the first step you've already achieved because everybody is signed in. So we're going to go to the number 2 and then the first bullet point, which says free event for testing purposes. Please click Demo Circle. That's the link. And then we open it up. This is the demo circle on Qiqo Chat, which is where people can create test events at any time and there's no charge.
So are we doing this on our own screen or?
Yes, please do. Right now, Funda, you might have opened this in a different browser. Would you like to open this in the browser where you're signed in? I think that Zoom, there we go. So demo.qiqochat.com. If you go to the browser at the top and in the address bar, you can create a new tab, or you can go in this current tab. Please open up a new tab, there we go, and say demo, D-E-M-O, .qiqochat.com. Qiqochat.com. Great. This will take us to the home page of the demo circle. And there's a green button at the bottom that says add. So we'll add a new event. And now everybody else is probably the same spot. There's the big green button says add an event. All you need to do to add an event is type in the title. And maybe put your name too. So this way, everybody knows when they see each other's events, which one is theirs. Perfect. When you're ready, Funda, you can put in we'll skip the description. You could skip the start time. You can always come back to that. But if you scroll down, there'll be another green button to create the event.
Schedule? No.
Yep, there it is. Schedule event is the big green button. Anybody else can chime in with any questions that they have while we're doing this.
I'm doing this, Lucas, I'm doing this on my own screen. I just wonder, was she sharing a screen? Am I supposed to be in a shared screen?
She is sharing her screen. So if you can see my face, you could probably also see her shared screen.
Okay.
But you don't have to, you could choose whichever one you want. And it looks like yours is connecting Scotland. And Funda, I see yours down below. It says Funda, hello. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see yours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Funda, you can click on the name of your event or enter the event, either one. And now we'll just see by just typing in the title, what you get out of the box. This is the default Qiqo Chat event, which has a name and a start date. And if you click participate now, the green button in the center.
Lucas, what about this Facebook share? I can share it. Okay.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for the question. You can add it to your calendar also if you want to. That's what those other buttons do. You can convert the time zone. If you're doing a global event, people might want to see the time in their local time if they didn't put a time zone on their Qiqo.
So
Sarah, I see your message. Thanks for good luck in your exam, Sarah. See you online.
How could you see mine if I wasn't sharing screen?
Oh, because you posted yours into the demo circle and other people are posting theirs into the demo circle. The demo circle is a public circle. When you created it, you also had the option to say hidden, and then it would not be visible to anybody.
I see. Okay.
Normally, and we don't make it easy for people to find each other's events because we don't want people disrupting each other's events. But we assume that if you put something in a circle, other circle members are going to want to see it. The demo is just for testing, so there's no concerns. When you create an event on your dashboard, which is another way, then it's private. Nobody is going to see the link in any of the circles. Any questions as we're moving forward here? Okay, so when Funda clicks edit, she can see the same form she filled out when she created it. So anything she did when she created, she can go back and edit it. Let's scroll all the way down to the bottom and click the green button and just take a look and see what we get in your event when all you do is put in the title. The green button is all the way at the bottom.
Update. Okay.
Perfect. Now we arrive at your event. It has the butterfly photos by default. And on the right, it has a notes page for all of your rooms. And it has a Zoom meeting connected to your main room. We are in the main room right now. That's the green button at the top left that says join video for main room. And if you scroll down, you'll see all the other rooms. And each of those rooms has their own notes page and their own Zoom meeting. So you can hold an open space event just like that. But you probably want to do some more work to customize it. Let's click edit at the top. Oh, and there's your admin controls. And we can, why don't we take a look at what those admin controls are? So Funda clicked admin controls underneath the butterflies. set topics for breakout rooms. If you click on that, then you can type in a topic, apple, banana, cherry, and put it on a new line. Exactly. And click the yellow button to save it. You spelled it perfectly. And then now your rooms, you had 3 topics, so you could see you now only have 3 rooms at the bottom. All the other rooms are hidden. So for an open space or a lean coffee or a happy hour where people are writing on the right in the notes area, all the topics they want to discuss, you could just copy them from there and paste them in, and all the topics will be assigned to a new room. Some other helpful features in the admin controls that we're looking at, Funda. All right. Click View All Breakout Notes. It's the, sorry, yeah, that's it. We'll start there. View All Breakout Notes. So as the facilitator, you can see all the notes for all the pages on one page. You scroll down and you'll see how people are typing live at that time. You might see which rooms are struggling. Then you can jump in there and assist.
That's perfect.
You can close this tab in your browser. All right, please again, interrupt with any questions.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yes, Margaret.
Please, thank you. So I'd like to, I see that there's also an option in my main page when I go to edit, and then I go to down at the bottom to those banners, and I go customize main space and breakouts. So I've got main, room 1, room 2, and room 3, and then underneath in the dialog box beneath there it says add a discussion topic for the main space. Sorry. Okay, sorry, I've answered my own question. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Those topics that we paste in, Margaret, that we just did there, they're only for the breakout rooms. So we treat the main room topic a little bit differently because it's probably not going to change. So Funda, let's try a few more. Oh, go ahead.
I also have a question.
Yes, Kai.
For the banner. Do you need a special size for the banner to show it in the rooms?
You do not. The banner will stretch to 100% width. So a short banner is going to be best.
Okay, thank you.
Funda, let's try the second option where it says notify breakout rooms, simple. And say test and send. So for anybody that is in the room, they can hear a noise and maybe it says, please return to the main room. Something like that. Yes. Similar to this, there's also a timer. It's the bottom option. Let's try that timer. Just put in a whole number like 10, 20, 30, and click save. And now that timer, it will show up in yellow on the left side of the page for everybody.
Yeah.
Those are the most common ones that you would use.
Lucas, is there a possibility for the timer to be visible in a specific room, or is it all rooms only?
It is all rooms only.
All right, thanks.
And assign people to breakout, but they can go by themselves.
They can. They will have to move themselves. Let's use that in our current event. I will demonstrate this one by sharing my screen. I click admin controls. I see everybody is here. And all it's going to do is assign you to a breakout. It will not move you to the breakout. So I'll click admin controls, assign people to breakouts, people per breakout. I'll say 3. It's better to use 3 than 2 because sometimes maybe someone doesn't know how to connect. So someone would be alone. So I click save. And then now all of us have been assigned to a different room. And you might find that helpful. If it's a very large number of people, then I think it's probably not manageable. And then there's a quick shuffle button, click admin controls, shuffle. and then now we're reassigned to different rooms. You still have to move yourself, and we say leave Zoom, actually leave the Zoom meeting, move yourself, and then join Zoom when you get there. That's what we recommend. It's not 100% necessary, but I find it easier for people that are doing it for the first time. So for all participants, we say the easiest thing, leave Zoom, move, join Zoom when you get there. Funda, if you're ready, we can continue editing your event. Let's pause here to see if there are any questions. Everybody can leave at any time. We got the whole thing recorded. We'll post this back on the event. My email address is lucas@Qiqo Chat for anybody that has to take off. And we have open office hours maybe 6 times a week. So you can just drop in, get your questions answered. But let's see if there are any questions here, and then we'll continue.
It's got a wee bit lost, Funda, when Funda was talking about the banner. Can we just go back to the banner? How
yes.
to, in the edit page of admin.
Yes, and also we'll take Chi Yuan's question now too.
Yeah, can I put the question now?
Yes, please.
Can I? Okay. Well, last week our community has used Qiqo Chat, and our members are very enthusiastic about the open space because they are free to join a room and then leave the room and then join another room. So it is just a trial, but I think it is very, very interesting. One thing I wanted to ask is, in this case, we can see people joining a room, then we can see people jumping to another and then to another. If I want it to be private, I mean, if I don't want to see myself going from one room to another, so I have to do something, right? Another question is that as administrator, we have a team of staff. So we all put the name staff, like Chu Yuning staff and meeting. So when I join a room, I still saw my name as Chu Yuning. Then I have to rename it as staff. Then I jump to another room, and again I find Chu Yuning, and then I have to rename it as staff. Well, the people in that room can see that the staff are jumping in and going out. How can we avoid this?
Okay, to not have, every time you enter a Zoom meeting from Qiqo Chat, it uses your Qiqo username. So if you change your Qiqo username, you don't need to change it when you go from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting. There is no way to move into a Zoom meeting privately. There is no way to move into a Qiqo Chat room privately. They will always see that you are there, for better or worse.
Yeah, so now I'm using this name, no? Talking with you. So when I have the meeting, then I have to rename my account, right? In my profile, so that I have to use that name always as staff meeting.
Change your name here, and that will solve the problem.
Okay, in the profile, okay.
Yes, which another interesting one is if you want all the staff to have a green border around them.
Yes,
you can click
that will be good.
Edit, and then I think it's here, custom formatting.
Yes.
And highlight specific participants in different colors. Lime, that's a green color. And then
or we can put a drop a drop shoot. If we can put a logo, I mean, it is the same.
It is.
We can we?
You can change your photo here. But
with the background for the staff.
Yes, they would have to change their photo up here.
Yeah, with the background, with the logo, I mean.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then back to the question about the banner. Let's go take a look. You wanted to know something about the banner?
For me?
No, the gentleman from Scotland.
I think he's on mute.
Beg your pardon. Yes, it was just to see how to create it. I came off the home screen there. It was just to see how to create how to amend the main banner.
Okay, so you need to upload the photo somewhere, and I'll do this again. This is the link, new resource. And while that's loading, I'll put it in here for you. I might be here. I don't know. I'll just put it in again. There's the link. All right. Now put in example banner or whatever name you like. Click upload a file and choose file. And the green button at the bottom. So maybe 4 clicks in there. And then here is our resource. It could be a blog post or it could be a document. See, it's got comments, so it's kind of like a blog post, but nobody's going to see this. You take this link on the file, not this. So take this link and copy it. And then in our event, click edit, customize your main space and breakouts, and paste in the banner here. 1 per row. I will give you this link so that you can just copy it into your event so you don't have to upload one. So we're looking for upload a document, example, link to an image. So you could try that out as a banner. You might have to right click on it and copy link address.
Excellent.
All right, welcome the questions.
Lucas, how we are going to access all these notes?
These notes remain. You can come back at any time.
Okay.
Sabine here, I have a question concerning the pictures of the participants seen in the rooms. I always have 2 icons. I have one with my picture and one in red, and I'm always double. How come?
I will find out the answer for you. I think maybe early on, if you're an early Qiqo Chat user, we have 2 accounts for you. That's something I can fix, and I will get back to you about that, Sabina.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
About the records from each of the conversations in each of the rooms on Google Docs or whatever, and how those get extracted and turned into a record of the event as we would do in open space.
Okay. Funda, did we yet put in a Google Doc? I don't think we put in a Google Doc into your event yet.
No.
I don't know if I've shown that to everybody. How about I show that now?
That would be great. Yeah.
Let's do it. Funda, if you could share your screen, please. And Liz, the short answer is we have a tool where you keep track of all the links in your event. And you as the organizer have all those links even separate from Qiqo Chat in a Google Sheet. And you have them, they exist, whether the event has started or not, and then you can manually combine them into a document however you like. I don't know if I cut out for a moment there.
You did, and I said thank you, but I was on mute. So.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Okay, Funda, so if you click edit or you go back to tab number 2, we're going to put in a Google Doc into your event. Please scroll down and look for the orange section, Customize Main Space and Breakouts. You could change the breakout number of spaces. You can add a title for the breakout spaces. But we're going to move down now underneath apple, banana, cherry. We're looking for the next one, online tools. We need to paste the link to a Google Doc in there. So let's go get a Google Doc. I can give you one here in the Zoom chat, or you can get one from your computer, whatever you like. I'm pasting it in now.
Okay, maybe that's quicker.
Okay. There's the example Google Doc. Did you see it come through?
Yes.
Good. And just paste it in when you have it.
Mm-hmm. No.
I think it didn't paste in yet.
I can't now.
Sometimes it's hard copying from Zoom. I'd right click on it. You have to kind of select it. It's not easy. Another way is if you go to tab number 1 on your browser. Oh, unless you have it here.
I did.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so right now you've put it in the second row, which means it's going to be in the second room. That's good, or you can move it up to the first room. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Copy it again. Oh, sorry. Go to line 2 and paste it again. So let's put it on line 1 and line 2. Hit enter, great. And for the second one, take away the word edit and write preview, P-R-E-V-I-E-W. Perfect. And there's a difference when you put in a Google Doc with those two. The default is edit, but preview is going to look neater. So I'll show you the difference. Please go down to the green button and click update. In the main room, we will see the Google Doc. It's still loading. There it is. Okay, there's the Google Doc. And if you go to room 1, so that's the second room in the list.
Room 1, okay.
Okay, we're entering room 1, and now you notice there's no buttons at the top. When you change edit to preview, it puts in the doc in a read-only way. So you can't edit it, and your participants won't see those extra buttons if it's a document that you don't want them to be editing.
Here in the main room, they can edit.
As long as you set the permissions to make it editable for anyone who has the link. You set your permissions in Google, and in Qiqo, we just display the page.
They can edit in the main room, they cannot edit in the Apple room.
That's true. In this specific example, the document that you embedded is not editable to anyone except me. So even though they see the buttons at the top in the main room, they cannot edit because I've set those permissions on Google. Now, let's say you would like to put in 2 documents in the same room. I will give you a second link here to Google Drawings.
One question, Lucas, it's
yes.
Kaya. If I do it in this way, if I put a document in this way in a room, it's looking like a PDF then.
Yes, it looks like PDF, and the good thing is you can change it, and once they refresh, it's got your changes.
Okay, thank you.
Look at this system is like managing blog pages actually a little bit.
Yes, it is very similar. You think about what spaces you want and then what tools you want in them, all those tabs across the top. We'll put in a second tab, Funda. If you go to Zoom Chat, I put into Zoom Chat, it says link for Google Drawings. Everyone is welcome to take that link too and to put it into one of their breakout rooms. This is something to simulate Post-it notes.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have copied that link, please go to the orange section of your edit page.
Orange. Security and permissions.
The one right above it, customize your main space and breakout.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And we'll go down to the place where we put in edit and preview, the Google Doc links. Let's take out the second link. You could triple click on it. So click on preview 3 times and it'll grab the whole thing. All right, now paste in the Google drawing link that I just shared with you. So this is a Google drawing. It's going to go in room, it's going in the second room. But if we'd like it to go in the first room, I'm going to show you how to put it in the first room. Please go to the left side of where it says HTTPS. The place where you just pasted the link. Put your cursor all the way on the left and type in the word draw, D-R-A-W. And let's use a capital D, please. This is going to be the word on the button that people will click in order to see it. So on the top line, we'll put, okay, the bottom line, we'll put draw and a colon. Can you put a colon? It's a 2 dots. No space, but 2 dots. And we'll take that space out. Okay, so we're going to draw for the second link. And the first link, let's say agenda or notes. So go to the first line and put agenda. And colon, 2 dots with no space in between. All right, so we've got 2 tools and they're in 2 rooms. If you want to put them in the same room, go down to draw and put draw, hit a backspace, and it'll go up to the next line.
Backspace.
Delete. And there we go. And now space. So we separate these 2 with a space.
Okay.
There's an easy way to do this. I'm showing you the hard way, the manual way first. But now you see how it's done. You have a link and a title to the button. And you separate those pairs with a space. So you can have many different links going all the way off the page. I know that this is complex and intimidating, but I'm going to show you the easy way next. Please go down. Oh, yes.
I have a question. So I've done it and I have multiple tabs open. However, in one of the tabs, my browser tells me it cannot open the page. Is that something to do with my browser? Or is it something to do with, for example, that Qiqo doesn't recognize the address?
It could be one of several problems, and we will debug that next. It's possible that the page you're embedding does not permit embedding.
All right.
And another possibility is there's a typo, but okay, we will look into it. So Funda, if you scroll up to the main room, all right, and then you'll see there's 2 tabs now, agenda and draw at the very top.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's, what does the error message say right there? Not sure why. It's showing and then it stops. It seems like it crashed. The browser had a problem.
Maybe I did something wrong. Huh?
I didn't see you make any mistake. Well, anyway, it seems like it's working now. And then if you click draw,
I can't.
It's possible that computer is doing a lot of processing. It's loading Zoom. It's So maybe and it's screen sharing. So we might need to give it
frozen.
Okay. So I think the browser froze for a moment. We'll stop screen sharing there, but okay, that turns the screen sharing off. So you have two tabs and you can move between them. And whenever you click a tab, it changes draw or the notes. I'll do it on my screen.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to put it in the second room. Okay, the page is loading slow because I think I've got a lot open right now. Customize a main room. Okay, I'll paste in the link to the Google drawing.
Your screen has frozen for me. I don't know if that's the same for other people. So all I'm getting is your homepage.
Right.
I'll stop screen sharing for a moment and set it up. I think my computer's running slow now. All right, let's see if we have better luck. Okay. We have a banner at the top and two buttons now. One says Notes and one says Draw. So as you select the other tool will load here. Adelie, did you have another question? Should we try seeing what was wrong?
Sure. Just let me quickly, because I was browsing through one of your manuals to see if we could find the answer.
Great. So we can try debugging something now. I could show you some ways that I look and to find out which web pages aren't displaying properly.
All right. There we go. Just browsing through everything else as well. Screen share. Speak now. So I managed to get this far to rename the rooms, add descriptions, add a banner. So that was nice. And I managed to do the different tabs. So the draw one and the see one. Use the preview thing you said. And then there's an online thing that I would like to display in here. This literally says Firefox cannot open this page due to security, yada, 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 yada. But if the button says open website in new page, and if I push that, it will just open up in a new browser screen.
Okay, great. I'm opening it here too to see. I got the same message. I'm in Chrome and I'm going to investigate. Okay, this message says, for me, it says it refused to connect. So in this case, this is a web page. They don't permit embedding.
Right.
You can't embed, say, a website of a bank or google.com. But for distance disco, they're probably going to be able to change that. So yeah. We reach out to the webmaster and you say, we want to embed your website in Qiqo Chat. Can you change it? So can you share your screen again, please? And we're going to look at the developer tools. Most of you will never need to look at the developer tools to find out how to debug a page, but it's interesting to see. So please right click on where it says Firefox cannot display the page. Right click. Right, anywhere else, yep, right click, and we're looking for inspect element. I think it's the bottom one. And now this is how a web developer can look at all the parts of a page. At the top left of all of this craziness, it says inspector, but next to that it says console. Please click console. And please reload the page with the Control R. Okay, that looks like it's working. I'm looking for the error message here.
It mostly is in Dutch. I can translate it for you.
I think we'll find one in red in a moment when the page is done refreshing. All right, so you'd copy that red error and you could send this to the webmaster and you say, we're trying to embed your web page, but so whenever this happens, you can email me and I'll help you with the exact message, but I'm gonna go give you the message that I would normally send to these folks. It'll take me a moment to pull it up, but
no worries. I spoke to her yesterday and we really want to use this tool within Qiqo. So she said, can you try it? I said, well, I have a training coming up, so let's just try it.
Super. All right, well, I'll take another question, but in the meantime, I will get you the words that we use. They have to adjust something on their web page to make it embeddable. But
thank you.
You're welcome. Looks beautiful. I love the banner across the top.
Well, I just followed because what I found is when you try and fill it in, there's usually a button which says no more or explanation. So I just followed that to add this.
Super.
But it's only in the main room though, so I haven't added it in the Spotify room or anything. That's still blank.
Oh, fun. Can you tell us what you did with those little icons on all your rooms? How'd you get those great icons? And if you can maybe do Control+ to zoom in so people can see a little bit better?
Sure.
Great,
so,
that's fun.
If you go down here, you see Lucas is on the central stage and there's the Spotify room, there's a makeup room, a piano room, and a cafe. So what I did is I went to edit and then you go to customize your main space and breakouts. And in here, there's an option for a title. So you kind of change the name from room 1, 2, 3 to an actual title. These are basic emoji icons you can find within Word, but most easiest you can find them online looking at Emojipedia, where you find the extract code for them. Or you can just copy paste them there and copy paste them in the box because it recognizes HTML coding.
Well done.
Thank you.
That's not something I invented on Qiqo. I learned that from someone else doing the same thing. I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know that was possible. So that's a great touch.
Yeah, and you can take out the colors from these as well and can make them black and white if you go for a more sleek design. Yeah, you can do quite a lot with those.
Super. And for folks that are just using Qiqo Chat for the first time, we have to remember the main thing is we want the technology to blend into the background. We want to make it look nice, make people feel good, but the purpose is to help people look at each other. So you don't have to make it so fancy. You do have to motivate your people to say, we all took time out of our calendar to be with each other today. Let's be present. Let's talk about the things that matter. And you know how to do that as facilitators. Here is the information, Adelaide, that I put in there. It says, in order to fix this error, please have your webmaster change the content security policy to this. That's in the Zoom chat.
Thank you.
They hopefully know how to do that. I don't even know how to do that, but webmasters seem to know how to do that. So
they developed this whole tool. I'm sure they can do something with it. And if not, we'll find someone else to do it.
Awesome. Well, I'm interested to hear how it goes. Distance disco, it sounds pretty innovative. So please let me know if it works out great. Maybe we could recommend it on our list of embedded tools.
I will add you to the conversation so you can keep updated. It's a pretty nice tool. So it's sort of a game where everybody joins in and two people hear the same song and you have to find your match. So it's pretty fun.
Great. Super. Other questions that people might have?
Yes, I have one more question, Lucas. Sabine.
Yes, Sabina.
I copied a Qiqo Chat meeting, a former one. I copied it so that I don't have to do all the new links and so on. And now the video is off and I don't find the possibility to switch the video on. Please show me that. I knew how to do that, but I forgot.
Okay. So after an event is over, so that you don't get any more charges, we turn the video off after 8 hours of your event ending. So you go to edit and then the blue show hide section. And then you could turn video on. And then it stays on. In the show hide section, you can also hide rooms. So you can build out your rooms for a 2-day conference and hide the rooms for day 2 when it's day 1. Then when day 1 is over, hide the rooms for day 1, show the rooms for day 2, get a glass of wine.
Okay, show hide, close.
Lucas, when you hide it, I mean, if you have some rooms that are hidden,
okay,
and then you make one of them visible, does it automatically become visible on people's pages or do they have to refresh to see the newly visible room?
Thank you, Mark. Fortunately, it will be instant on their screen or within a few seconds. It's just going to change the list on the left.
Mm-hmm.
So they will see new rooms have opened up. It doesn't change the link to the room. You can still go to the room if you go there manually by changing the link in the address bar. You'll see it says Breakout 1. You can go to Breakout 100, even though Breakout 100 is not displayed.
Yeah, and I see that as a great way to plan ahead for unexpected capacity.
Absolutely.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
Well, to organize international meeting, we need translations. Could you just please explain how we can put a different language in and how we can let the interpreters in and the interpreters can go to different rooms? Thank you.
Yes, Chuyuan. Here we have first, any participant can change their own language so we can all look at the same event with different instructions. Now, if you are the organizer and you want translation with interpreters in Zoom, then you must use a Zoom business account. And you can create the meeting with your Zoom business account and turn on language interpretation at the zoom.us web dashboard where you normally create the event. Then when you have that Zoom meeting, click edit on Qiqo Chat. And on the very bottom, there's a purple section which says special features. I'm scrolling there now. Here we go. And you just paste in the link to the Zoom meeting, 1 per row. It'll look like this. It's the /J Zoom link. So zoom.us/J, and then the link to the meeting. And the password might be on there too. It's the encrypted password. So that is the link to join Zoom. And each one will be different. To invite an interpreter, you do it the same way as if Qiqo Chat didn't exist. You do it from the zoom.us web dashboard. In order to turn language interpretation on, you have to invite at least one translator, one interpreter. But when the meeting begins, you can add more interpreters and assign them from inside Zoom in the app. The language interpretation button looks like a globe, and you can assign anyone that is currently there. You don't want to assign people until they get there, I believe, because they're not going to understand that they got invited to be an interpreter for a Zoom meeting because they don't know where, they're probably going to get invited to several Zoom meetings because you have several breakout rooms in Qiqo Chat, and they won't understand. So instead, invite yourself as the interpreter and assign yourself to a language that's not going to be used. And then when the meeting starts, the interpreters show up early, or they definitely come to do a rehearsal. You make them the interpreter when they get in the room. As the host, you can do that. Only the host can start language interpretation. That's a lot of information, but if you've worked with language interpretation in the past, hopefully that makes sense. Do you have any follow-up questions about that?
Well, thank you, Luca. Actually, I will not be the technician who will do all this, but it is good to hear your explanation. So it is very helpful. So thank you so much. And also this welcome. Is a good possibility for international meetings. Thank you.
It is amazing. Yes, we can speak to, because we're doing it on Zoom, it's easier and more cost effective to speak across different languages. So new things are possible now. All right, that's a lot of information. I'll stay on for another 10 minutes if people have any additional questions. I'm gonna put the link to the open office hours again in the Zoom chat. And there's about 6 per week. You can come in unscheduled and you just ask any question that you like. And my email address, lucas@qiqochat.com.
Lucas, I'm gonna save the chat from the Zoom, which I'll be honest, I didn't know how to do that until last week, and somebody just found out by accident. So I don't know if everybody else knows how to do that, but there's a lot of information on the chat that can be saved just by going to reactions, I think. And oh no, is it the chat and the 3 buttons at the bottom of chat? Yeah, just to click the chat and hit the 3 buttons, and it just automatically saves it, which is really, really good, really, really useful. You've got Patience of Ascent. And I just wanted to say Adele's emojis as well, and making it really personal, you know. And it's one of the things about Zoom that there's a big failing in Zoom, I think, and maybe you've got the answer to this, that when people are held in a waiting room,
yeah,
and there's no way of notifying the host, there's no doorbell to say that the waiting room. So if you're 5 minutes late for a tutorial, and then the host gets embroiled in hosting, and forgets to give access to the late arrivals, you can miss the whole hour, or they miss the whole session, you know.
Yes.
And it's a very bland arrival. So I loved Adele's personalization of the emojis and things like that. I learned a lot from that. So that was great.
What we usually do is that we assign some co-hosts and specifically task them, especially when the host is all out busy talking, just task them to take a look at that waiting room, because that really works. And otherwise, what you could try and do is not hold your starting session in the main room, but hold it in a breakout room, because then the host is not completely occupied because he's more or less running a reception.
Yeah. And that's the other thing we learned about hosting, was giving people the breakout areas to have that informal chat away from the main conference. You know, people, because a lot of times you go to these conferences, it's the networking. It's not the platform speakers you learn from, it's the networking event. So Adele, do you teach, if I get the pronunciation right, do you teach social media? Do you teach that kind of thing? No?
Within Meeting Masters, yeah, we do. We do teach those kinds of things. We help with translating meeting concepts, which are generally developed offline, to help them bring online for larger crowds. And we work a lot with Lucas, or I work a lot with Lucas, because I really like Qiqo Chat, because I know a lot about Zoom, but Qiqo was very new to me, but I just find it very cool.
Yeah, lovely, lovely stuff. Lovely. I would love to learn more about Instagram. I'm finding that quite difficult as well, but it's a generational thing. I know that, but it's lovely to talk. Lovely to meet everybody.
We didn't touch on networking. I'm going to share one more fun tool called Spatial Chat. I just pasted it in here. I'm also going to put it into the Zoom chat. You're welcome to test it out. And when you put it into a Qiqo Chat event, put it into room 2. You would want to hide Zoom in that room, because you don't want people going into Zoom and Spatial Chat at the same time. Zoom is video and Spatial Chat is video, but I'm going to go down to Spatial Chat. You probably would not want the banner if you're using Spatial Chat, and you don't want join video, so you'd hide that. But you enter your name and click continue, and you test your microphone and click join space. And this is a fun way. I'm going to mute myself so it's not going around. And then if I move closer, I see Ann Haiti and Adele is here. If I move closer to them, we can hear each other. And if I move farther away, I can't hear them anymore. It's like being in a hallway.
Yeah.
This costs us $50 a month, and you can get it from us for $25 for your event, because we reuse it for multiple rooms. So if you like, feel free to try embedding that into one of your test events. But we reuse these rooms, so you'll find other people are in there for their events. So we want to make sure we don't disrupt them. Thank you for your time. I'll stay on for any additional questions, but we'll close the class here. And you've got my contact information. Thank you very much for your time, your energy, your thoughts. I look forward to learning alongside you as all of us are exploring virtual facilitation together.
Thank you very much. This was really, really useful.
Thank you. Really.
Thanks, Lucas.
Thank you for dedicating the time to us and the questions. Thank you. Bye.
You're very welcome.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks so much, Lucas. That was very good.
Thank you.